What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Prospect Talk podcast. You're back with the crew. Danny, Doug, Eli, and Fernando.
What's up, guys?
What's up, boy? Eli, you looking mad fresh with that new cut, bro. I'm liking that.
Yes, sir. But there's a great story behind this fresh cut.
Oh,
Let's hear it.
I hope everybody's ready for this because I know I wasn't. Okay, so I'm trying out a new barber. My barber decided to stop cutting hair. Why? I don't know.
He just retires?
He retired.
Wait, hold on. What? He retired?
He retired. Who knows? He told me he's not cutting hair.
He's like 30 years old.
Yo, I just want to say real quick, I really feel you on that because my barber, for some reason, just left my barbershop and he went to some other barber.
Honestly, barbers shouldn't be able to do that. They have to put in a 2-week notice.
Absolutely.
At least.
Call all your clients, let them know.
Yeah.
So tell me what happened with the new barber.
Okay, so I go into this new barber, check him out. It was a referral, some recommendations from some boys. I was like, all right, cool, let me check him out. Go inside the shop. He's wearing a Paul Pogba jersey. We all like soccer here, so I'm like, okay, cool. It's gonna be easy to relate and talk to this guy. Sick jersey, right? So I'm like, hey, you're a Man United fan, blah blah blah. We start talking about sports, start talking about soccer. We get really into the conversation.
The real question is, did you put him onto the podcast?
I actually did not, but don't worry. When I come back, if I come back,
what a chump!
All right, continue with your story.
So we're talking about soccer. We're getting into it. Everybody who listens to this podcast knows I'm the biggest Ronaldo fan there is out there. All right? I think you guys can attest to that.
No, yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Okay, cool. So I'm talking about Ronaldo. I'm talking that shit, like, yo, Ronaldo's the best. I don't know why people see Messi equal to him, blah, 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 blah. Going into it, halfway through the haircut, comes to find out the guy is Argentinian. And I'm like,
yo, he just messed up your cut.
I'm like, damn. I'm thinking like, yo, he's about to fuck my haircut up, my lineup, everything. I'm done. Like, I should have not went that hard.
How scared were you?
I was nervous.
That's one thing that you can't mess around with.
Because he was like, yeah, bro, I'm actually Argentinian. I'm a huge Messi fan.
Oh,
I'm like,
no.
Oh, that's a huge strike right there. I'm thinking, damn, I'm about to get my haircut all fucked up.
How dumb did you feel?
I felt horrible, man.
Were you talking that like you?
Bro, I was like,
if you know Eli, he talks reckless when it comes to Messi.
I talk mad reckless, you know. I was going in on Messi. I was like, man, it's a shame that he didn't grow past 5'5", and like, I was going in. He ends up being Argentinian. Instead of fucking up my haircut, which I think I wish he'd rather do instead of this, he turns me around to this big flat screen TV that he has on the wall, gets onto his Roku, gets onto YouTube, types in Messi highlights, and makes me watch Messi scoring goals for the duration of my haircut.
I love it.
And I'm like, this son of a bitch.
That's a great move.
I like that barber. I respect that move.
That's a good move right there.
So the whole time I'm watching Messi score goals, and he's like, do you remember that one? Oh, how about this one?
No.
How about, I'm like, bro, just get my fucking lineup right, okay? Like, I'm tight. But
send me his Venmo. I'll give him the tip.
That's a good move right there.
Yeah, note to self, don't talk shit about sports, especially if you don't know what the other guy likes. Especially if he's your barber.
Yeah, if he has the sake of your haircut in his hands, that's not a...
He gave me a fresh cut, though. I gave him a good tip.
Next time you go back, make sure you pull.
We were able to laugh it off. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with everybody.
Damn, that's funny as hell. I didn't think that was the story that we were going to get from that.
Yeah, man. That was...
All right. Let's get down to business, right? We got the big thing going on this week. NBA free agency.
Yeah.
Where you guys want to start with that? Because there's a lot to talk about. I know for the past couple months, all we've talked about is basketball, but...
basketball is a year-round sport now.
The listeners are just going to have to deal with it one more week.
What do you guys want to hear? What do you guys want to talk about first?
So one thing that I made note of, and it's not getting as much I guess press you can call it. The Mavs are saying that they want to sign KP to like a max deal.
I think they should.
Like a 5-year deal.
Yeah, he's young. He showed promise when he plays.
The only thing is, can you give that to a guy that hasn't proved that he can stay healthy?
I think with his ability and his potential, and you're the Mavs who generally don't get free agents, yeah, you should.
And the thing is, like, once they, acquired him, what did they expect? I mean, was this not expected that he was going to get a max offer contract? This is the plan all along.
In my head, I always saw them as trying to resign him. I just didn't think that they would be that blatant to be like, yeah, we're going to give you a max.
But you know what, Danny? I don't think maxes hold the same weight that they do
Well, no,
you know,
and
today.
the KP's max is lower than what Kemba and Kyrie and them are.
Yeah, and then you have the super max.
Yeah,
too, so
yeah,
that
exactly.
Kind of like, but still, do you consider KP a max player?
At his best, absolutely. He's in New York. He's flashed and looked really good.
Yeah, he's shown flashes, but he hasn't shown that he can do that consistently.
I think they took him because they saw something in him. So if you're gonna make that big trade and get rid of a lot of your guys, I feel like you got to take the risk.
So another guy that I don't think deserves a max is Jimmy Butler.
Oh hell
really?
no.
I think he deserves a
definitely
max.
Don't deserve a max.
No, he doesn't deserve a max. Absolutely not. And Houston is now saying that they want to target him. You got all these reports with James Harden and Chris Paul in the locker room being dysfunctional. Jimmy Butler is the last guy you want to add into that list.
I mean, like the pot's already stirred. Might as well just throw in some extra spice.
So
in
it's
there.
like having a bonfire and be like, let's throw some more kerosene.
Exactly.
So what's so funny about you saying I don't think Jimmy Butler deserves a max? Some kid tweeted on Jimmy Butler's post today, or I think it was on Instagram. He was like,
I peeped that.
Yeah, he was like, Jimmy Butler doesn't deserve a max at all. And then Jimmy Butler responds, and he's like, yeah, you don't deserve me commenting back, but I guess we're both getting things that we don't deserve this summer.
That's a great clapback.
Yeah.
I give hats off to Jimmy Butler for saying that, but that still doesn't justify him getting a max.
I think he's a good player, honestly. I think a max, not a super max, but I think he really showed his value.
It's going to be a 5-year max.
I think he showed his value in that Toronto series. I think when things were tough and they were looking for somebody to score,
he was the most dependable.
It was Jimmy Butler. He was the most dependable guy.
I was also impressed to see him. That was his first like big playoff run.
Yeah,
right? So
he looked good.
I was impressed with that, but I still don't think he deserves a max, and I still think that he's not a good fit in Houston. I don't know
who's a good fit in Houston, to be honest. That's such a hard situation to like diagnose and really like dive into.
Now, Danny, do you say that just because of like his emotions
demeanor?
or like his character or like his game?
I think his character. I think him and Chris Paul aren't guys that are going to vibe well together. Which now it's seeming like Chris Paul just doesn't vibe well with very many people. But I just don't think his play style vibes well with what the Rockets are doing either.
He's ball dominant.
Yes,
you're gonna have 3 ball dominant guys.
I don't think Jimmy Butler's ball dominant. He didn't look ball dominant in Philly.
In the playoffs, I feel like he did.
He was pretty ball dominant.
In the playoffs, but I think he had to be because I wouldn't put the ball in Simmons or Embiid's hand. I think he had to be.
But he's a rhythm guy.
I feel like if you're the Rockets, you might as well go for broke at this point.
Because I think Jimmy Butler is
Chris Paul's. No one's gonna take Chris Paul's contract.
Yeah, you got to be giving up assets to people to get rid of Chris Paul.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's a hard trade to get off Chris Paul. But I do think Jimmy Butler is a guy who can play off the ball a little bit. I don't think he needs the ball to be effective because he is a good defender.
So you want to relegate him to a 3-and-D role?
Not a 3-and-D.
That's essentially what he would have to do for them.
Yeah, I think that's the role he would have to take on for that team.
I don't think he... I don't
think
the
most effective.
I think it'll be like it sounds weird, but like a 2-and-D. He's a 2D guy, okay?
2D.
He's a 2D guy. Like, I see him coming off screens, cutting, slashing. Almost kind of what Dwayne Wade served for, like, the Heat when they had their big three.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know.
Because I don't think he's an efficient three-point shooter like that to, like, say, this is our 3-and-D guy.
Let's say Houston does get Jimmy Butler. Is that a team that you believe in?
Depends who they keep.
Yeah.
Depends. They need PJ Tucker.
By all means necessary, they need to keep PJ Tucker.
I also believe
Gordon.
Eric Gordon off the bench.
Well, no, I think that it was kind of rumored that if they were looking to make that trade, then
Gordon would go,
and Eric Gordon.
Yeah, and Capella. Eric Capella would go too.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because the Celtics were actually wanting to be part of a 3-team deal to get Capella to Boston.
Well, they have a void to fill now with Al Horford gone.
Mm-hmm. They got a lot of voids to fill.
Well, so
we'll get into that.
Now that we're on the Celtics, I'm going to give my 2 cents real quick. Al Horford, him leaving, I think he's a good fit for Milwaukee. Great fit for Milwaukee, especially with them losing Brook.
But I don't know if they have the cap space to sign.
Yeah, he's gonna. Is he getting a max? Is he slated for a max?
The only thing is he's gonna get a near max at the very least. So that's $28-30 million. They're gonna be paying Chris Middleton, who reports already say he's locked in that he's gonna get that max.
Brogdon's gone. I bet.
They can't afford Brogdon.
Yeah, they can't afford that.
But who else is on their books that they can't afford all these guys? I don't understand.
Ilyasova right now is getting overpaid. He's getting about $8 million a year.
Forgot Ilyasova.
Yeah, they're gonna lose Brook Lopez.
But Brook Lopez was like $1 million.
No, Brook Lopez was like $3 million.
No, well, bro, they got him for a steal.
Yeah, so, like that's what I'm saying. Like he's not going to be back.
Where do you guys feel like Al Horford is the?
So I heard reports of him going to the Clippers.
I was just about to say that. I think let's say him and Kawhi team up with the Clippers. I think that's a very good matchup.
Whoa. I'm not entertaining any of that Kawhi talk here.
Let's be real. You really think the Toronto Raptors are going to sign him?
I think, bro. I think they had like TMZ or somebody taking pictures of him buying some furniture. I was like, okay, my dog.
He could have a like a off-season home in Toronto.
But why? Why? That's not an off-season home like Toronto.
Ask Jalen Rose. He loves Toronto.
He was also
he doesn't live there in the
Blue
off-season.
Jays jersey.
Yeah, I really
jersey.
think Kawhi's going to stay, especially now that Gasol said he was going to stay, and Ujiri. That was the big thing.
Yeah,
we'll get to Ujiri.
We'll get to that, I think that's on our.
That was the big thing about Kawhi staying.
Separate question. While we're still like kind of talking about the Celtics, so they already know Kyrie's gone. They're going after Kemba. And from what I've read, it seems like that might be pretty much a shoo-in for them.
Okay, I'm gonna stop everybody right here. It's a perfect opportunity.
Go for it.
We're playing 60-second GM. We haven't played this in about
6 episodes? No, we played it with Noah when Noah was on the podcast. Kind of.
We're about to play 60-second.
Well, there's a reason we haven't played it.
We're playing 60-second GM. All right. You know what, Doug? Just for that, you're going.
Ooh, all right. Okay.
You just put yourself on the hot seat.
So you're Danny Ainge. You got to convince Kemba to come play with the Celtics.
I'm gonna get the clock out.
This is horrible because I hate the Celtics, so there's no way I'm gonna be able to.
Just don't do what you did last time with the Knicks.
What? Sell the roster?
He can't do any worse than last time, so you got to give him the benefit of.
You don't know, Doug.
Yeah, that's not a.
Can I convince him not to come to the Celtics?
you probably need 20 seconds
Boston.
for that.
You don't want to.
All right, Doug. So you got 60 seconds. You're Danny Ainge. You got to make Kemba Walker sign with you this free agency. 60 seconds starts now.
So, Kemba, let me ask you this question straight up. You've been in Charlotte for all of your career, never been in a successful team. When you come to the Celtics, you're going to be living that Celtics dynasty. Most championships in NBA history. We got to bring a title back. We want you to lead this team. We try to have Kyrie in here. He obviously didn't mesh well. From what we hear from Charlotte, awesome teammate. So we're going to pair you up with Brad Stevens, one of the best coaches in the league. We're going to get you the best fit and scheme for our city. Boston's going to embrace you. You're the perfect personality for it.
20 seconds.
Well, that's it. I sold him.
That's it? You think you sold him with that?
I mean, that's all I got for Celtics.
Wow.
Okay.
You're going to 20 precious seconds on the clock.
If I may jump in here, Kemba, you've played in the Yukon area, so
Stop. This isn't your time, buddy.
Yeah. No, they'll be trying to
Yukon area.
steal the shine.
It's in Connecticut.
I know, who's kind of the area.
All right, so boys, the way this game works, we're the judge, we're the panel. We'll start with you, Nando, since you had a lot to say after.
How do you think Doug did?
I think 10. It was much better than his first time. I think you.
No. We can't make the grading scale off his first time because then it's a 12.
Yeah.
I like the fact that you said, he really hasn't had any success with Charlotte, and that's kind of evident there. I think you're kind of coming into a city where it's primed to be a championship city, so that they're willing to pretty much get behind him. I think you could have hit on the fact that, he's had a little bit of history there with Brad Stevens, so even though it was the opposing,
did he have history with Brad Stevens?
Coach. Well, they played against each other when he was in UConn. I think Brad Stevens was the coach at Butler, so he kind of knows him even from college days.
I guess,
yeah. I mean, but I think you did decent.
All right, 1 to 10, bro.
1 to 10, I'll give that a 6.
Hey,
not bad.
It's not horrible. What do you think, Danny?
I think you did a little bit better than the 6. I'll give you a 7. I do like the fact that you brought up that he's coming to a winning environment, which, Charlotte, he didn't win anything. And coming to Boston to be part of that winning dynasty and, have that championship mentality. I would have liked for you to have said a little bit or touched a little bit on the fact that now he's going to be paired up with guys like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. He's going to have some help, where in Charlotte he really had no one but himself.
Old ass Nick Batum.
Yeah. I would have liked for you to touch on that a little bit. But overall, I think you did an okay job. Definitely worlds better than what you did with the Knicks and KD.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna give Doug.
To be fair, I'll probably be better than the GM of the Knicks right now, though.
I don't doubt that. At all.
That's not hard to do, Doug. But I'm gonna give you a 7 as well. I definitely like that. Of course, you brought that winning culture. Not to sound like a broken record, but that was good. I definitely would like you to touch on the roster a little bit. That now you got young, fresh legs to run with you, and kind of cater to your playing style. But that's tough to think of, in 60 seconds when you're on the spot. Good job.
All right.
So the real question I'm going to ask you guys is, do you think the Celtics signing Kemba really helps them out that much?
I think they're a better team than with Kyrie. It kind of reminds me of
a poor man's Kyrie.
Well, it reminds me of the Isaiah Thomas days, and I think he's a better Isaiah Thomas. And I think that's the playing style and the model they're going to go back to, but using Kemba instead of Isaiah. And I think Brad Stevens is a smart enough guy to find a system to work around Kemba.
I don't think he's as talented as Kyrie Irving.
Absolutely not.
But he definitely is a better fit.
But you do know that Kemba this past season was...
He's not very effective.
He was
he had his best year.
I meant like efficient from the field.
So no, he was.
But he's an amazing 3-point shooter as well.
So he was the 5th most efficient in ISO situations.
That's shitted on Doug's comment.
Yeah.
No, but he's
efficient, bro.
Compared to Kyrie. Kyrie was 50% efficient from the field.
So the comparison that I want to make is that this past season, Kyrie was the 2nd most efficient guy in terms of ISO situations. Kemba was 5th. I think those are both guys that they're point guards that don't necessarily pride themselves on creating offense and running the playbook and all of that. They pride themselves on scoring, and they do it from the ISO. I don't think that really benefits the Celtics all that much by having another ISO dominant guy in your starting 5.
I definitely see your point. The reason why, I'm not saying this is a championship team with Kemba Walker, but I'm saying why they're better is A, the chemistry. I can see the chemistry being a lot better with Kemba, and B, Kemba's more of a leader than Kyrie, where the guys weren't able to rally around him and really believe, like, hey,
I will give Kemba
this is the route.
Props that I think he's more clutch than Kyrie.
No, I don't know about that.
So
Kyrie's made one of the most clutch shots, and
he had that one clutch shot. But if you actually look at the numbers from this past season, Kemba scored the 2nd most points total throughout the season, being within 5 points in the last 5 minutes of the game.
Kemba is clutch too. It's tough. At the end of the day, I still kind of rather have Kyrie taking the last shot, but I'm okay with Kemba taking the last shot as well. He's phenomenal.
It'll be interesting to see where they go and how they do. I just don't think that's going to really improve them at all. Maybe in the locker room, in terms of chemistry, it helps them out a lot, but I don't see them on the court being that much better. Unless Kemba starts becoming a great passing point guard.
Hey, maybe he does. We don't know. Yeah. And that's if he goes to Boston. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty much a shoo-in that he goes to Boston, unless the New York Knicks make like a big push for them after losing out on Kyrie.
Well, a couple of dark horses that are reports coming out is that Dallas actually is looking into signing Kyrie. Kyrie said that he'll take him.
That's a horrible fit.
I'm sorry, not Kyrie. Kemba.
That's still a bad fit.
Yeah, but Kemba said he would be willing to take a meeting. That's reports coming out. And also, interesting move the Lakers made today, clearing up Mo Wagner, Isaac Bonga, and then that one dude, Geronimo Jones.
They cleared up space.
Yeah, but taking a meeting doesn't mean anything you say. That's like
I know, but
you're going on a date.
That's a potential.
Date.
It's a potential.
Listen, nothing's set in stone until they sign the contract. Look what happened with DeAndre Jordan.
Facts.
Especially with the Mavs.
Mavs. Yeah. The Mavs can't seal a deal.
AD also, he waived his I think it was $4 million. His trade,
so that frees up $32 million.
And Braun gave him the number 23. How do you guys? What do you guys think about that?
6. Bro, he has to do that.
He also gave him extra $4 million for Space Jam 2. So
yeah, he has to do that. LeBron is in a position where he can't not give him the 23 after you work that hard to bring a guy over.
I don't think he had to. I think AD would have been okay taking another number, but that just shows more of LeBron saying hey, we're in this together.
But also you have to understand that LeBron has significance in the number 6, which is what he's going to transition to. So it's not that big of a deal for him to lose 23.
I don't think he cares. And they're also talking about him bringing back the chalk, throwing up the chalk before the game.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty awesome. I love Braun when he used to throw the chalk.
I think he should bring it back.
Yeah, bro, we've all thrown chalk in the air.
No, I haven't.
Nah, I've done it multiple times trying to be LeBron. For sure. You ever be in the gym where they have the chalk?
Absolutely. You just rub your hands and throw that shit.
I think most people have actually tried that one way or another.
Okay, has more people tried that or the Triple H spitting the water out like this?
Ooh, I don't know.
I think the Triple H.
I've done the Triple H
to use because you can always do
countless
water.
times.
Yeah.
So we kind of got a little off topic there. So the Celtics, sorry, not the Celtics. The Lakers cleared up a lot of cap space. They can actually afford another max player. A lot of reports are saying that's how they're going to make their push for either Kawhi or Jimmy Butler.
I just don't think Kawhi will go there just because I don't think he wants to play with LeBron.
I don't think so either.
He wants to compete against him. Like, he's not taking a jab against LeBron, but Kawhi's the guy who wants to compete against the best.
From what I heard, it's pretty much Clippers or
Toronto. Yeah. Do you think Jimmy Butler is a good fit in LA?
Actually, I was going to actually mention something that the Lakers are actually hoping that maybe Kyrie lands in Brooklyn because they actually have some interest in bringing back D'Angelo.
D'Lo,
yeah.
But if you're D'Lo, do you go back there?
Well, I think D'Lo's whole problem was with Magic Johnson, he said. And he said, as long as Magic's gone, I'm open to going back to the Lakers.
Well, and Magic Johnson just applauded D'Lo because he said he's a totally different player now. He's more mature, and he said he'd think it'd be a great fit if D'Lo went back to the Lakers.
I think so, too. I think it's a really good fit.
Do you think LeBron can play with a guy like that?
Yeah, because D'Lo's not selfish. Especially him leading that Brooklyn team was very impressive. And he didn't do it by just scoring. Like, he got the team involved.
No, yeah, he did. If you're the Lakers, where do you go? What do you do? There's so many avenues that you can go now that you have a max.
If I'm the Lakers, I would go more towards signing mid-tier players.
The three mid-tiers instead of the one max.
Exactly.
I agree. I think that's what you need to do because they're going to end up having 3 stars and no depth, and they're going to be in a...
And Melo came out and said he wants to play for the Lakers.
Yeah,
so.
I
think he signs for the better minimum?
Yeah. So
yeah, he was.
I'm going to be devil's advocate. I'm going to go with the third max guy. I just feel like the way the NBA has been going outside the Raptors who just won, you've needed 3 superstars to win a championship. So I think that's kind of the formula right now, and I would actually take the third superstar. That's just me.
And to kind of go off on that, you can sign guys to like a 1-year deal who can maybe fit in just for that year and kind of see how they play, who don't have to have those big contracts.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think we've seen in this past finals, we see what happens when you rely solely off your stars and they get hurt after a long season.
It's definitely a risk, a big risk.
Yeah, and I don't think you can, especially with LeBron being towards, let's be real, LeBron only has a couple more seasons left of him being at his prime. I don't think you can waste any of that time if you're the Lakers. So you need to be very, very strategic and very smart about what you do. And if you sign another guy to a max, that locks you up for 4 to 5 years. So if that doesn't work out for you that first year, oh well, you're stuck. You got to run that out until the end of all those contracts.
Yeah, I'd still rather go the third guy, but that's just me. That's a little different perspective.
So let's switch it up a little bit with Brooklyn. Brooklyn seems like it's the shoe-in to take Kyrie. So do you think that gives them the advantage to get KD, or do you think KD resigns with the Warriors?
So I know it's been reported that Kyrie and KD has had multiple meetings now where they've met up for lunch or whatnot to talk about free agency. Kyrie wants to go to Brooklyn, and they're saying KD wants to go to the Knicks. So they're torn, and I think they really want to move together.
KD just bought a home in New York.
Did he?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was reported today. He sold his home in Malibu officially, and he bought a home in New York.
Yeah, I think he's definitely gone. It's either Brooklyn or the Knicks. I think... I think I like the Brooklyn Nets roster better. I would rather play with Brooklyn. But like I said, to your point, Kyrie is a shoo-in for Brooklyn. That's where he wants to go. But he's not going to go without KD.
But so you think for sure that there's no chance KD signs back with the Warriors?
Oh, absolutely not.
I think there's a possibility. I'm looking at the Vegas odds because they usually have a lot more info.
How much can we believe you, though?
Have you ever won money in Vegas?
Yes, I have.
But also, can we believe you would be the most biased Warriors?
No, let me tell you the odds. So right now, the odds, the Nets are the heavy favorites by like 300 to pick up KD. Warriors are second, and then third is the Knicks. So Knicks looks like they have the least amount or the lowest chance.
But you tell me they still got a chance.
Yeah,
they still got a chance.
That after not playing for
they got a far chance.
Year, he's gonna want to come back.
And apparently, to Iggy. Iggy said they got no chance.
Man, Iggy needs to stop this book tour that he's on.
We'll get to Iggy because Iggy's been
just have to
talking
buy his book.
crazy.
No,
his book got some info in there.
Yeah, he got all the.
He's just trying to promote for his book, so he's come out here straight wilding like he's not. He don't know what he's talking about.
So I mean, all right, let's get back on topic with KD and Kyrie. Are they going to Brooklyn? Are they not?
I think I
can't see
most
KD
likely.
in Brooklyn.
I think most likely
You
he's
can't?
going to
Why
Brooklyn.
not?
I can't see KD in
like
Brooklyn.
you can't just picture him in the black jersey.
I can't picture him in the black jersey, but then I also can't see him going to a second-rate team.
Yeah, but that's why he would have to go with Kyrie.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't. I feel like if he's going to go to a lower-tier team in terms of quality, it needs to be in a giant market, right? And
which is a big network. Yeah, that's a huge network.
It's in a huge market. But you're still, regardless of how bad the Knicks are, Brooklyn will always be the number 2 team in New York.
But that's the same thing he did with Golden State. They're not the number 1 team in California. It will always be the Lakers.
They're a Bay Area that's further north than
it
LA.
is, but I'm just saying California, the Lakers will be the number 1 team.
But
always.
that's different because he also joined a team that was already established and was already winning.
Which is hard to see, though, right? Like, if someone would have told me, 3 years ago, KD was joining the Warriors, I'd have been, you're crazy.
But that's not an apples-to-apples comparison. He joined the Warriors because he was chasing rings and he wanted to
there's a lot of opportunity in Silicon Valley over there for his business aspect.
What, Acorns?
Bro, what are you talking about, Acorn?
No, he's heavily invested in Acorns.
Ashton Kutcher out here.
So Daniel,
Come on,
let me ask you this.
Acorns.
If Brooklyn would have been, competitively in the championship, 3-4 years, then you would have seen him going to Brooklyn.
I could have seen him going to Brooklyn. I just don't see where right now, if I'm KD, I'm thinking all about my legacy. And I'm thinking all about my brand. Is Brooklyn the number 1 place you go for your brand?
So the thing about his brand, though, I think, okay, everybody says he's a champion. You know how I feel about that. But let's say he's a champion, right? But the whole thing about it is he hasn't led his own team yet, right? That's kind of the knock on him. He hasn't led a team to a championship.
Correct.
Where you just seen Kawhi do it. You've seen LeBron. You've seen Steph kind of do it. So I can never that's a bad example.
That's listening. Eli just said Steph with air quotes.
Yeah, and scratch that. That's a horrible example.
You're a Steph hater, but it's cool.
We've seen a lot of guys lead people in the best, right? But we haven't seen KD do it. And I think that's the knock on his legacy, to talk about his legacy.
And what better place to do that with the Knicks?
Oh, I agree, right? I agree. I think if you really want to make a statement, the Knicks is, but then you have to make sure it's a suitable thing where you can win a championship, where right now...
He doesn't even have to win a championship with the Knicks. If he takes them to the playoffs multiple years in a row where they make runs...
I don't think that...
No, because do you see Melo like that? Melo took you to playoffs
every year.
Melo got bounced every single year in the first or second round.
Yeah,
I'm talking about if KD even just takes them to a finals... If he takes the Knicks to the finals, you best believe that the entire city of New York will be hopping on the KD bandwagon for the rest of their lives.
I don't know. I kind of disagree. I think that in order for you to make a statement in this type of caliber for your legacy, you have to win a championship.
Yeah, because you see all the knock that LeBron's gotten for losing in the finals. Exactly. I think KD would get the same knock. And in New York, you're a big Knicks fan. Patrick Ewing, he's like your thing, but he's lost in the finals. And I think that's like the asterisk on his legacy.
Guess what? Being a New York fan and being in that environment, I also know that Patrick Ewing is one of the most respected Knicks of all time.
Oh, absolutely,
he took us there, and he was the last guy to take us there. The same way
But I think as a Knicks fan, I'm not a big New Yorker, but I think they deserve a championship, and that would be the expectation of him going there.
We do, and everybody's going to want a championship, expect a championship. But you do remember when LeBron took Cleveland to their first championship, to their first finals.
Yeah, against who was it? The Lakers?
No, it was against San Antonio when he got swept.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
the city loved him after that.
They loved him, but now when you look back at his legacy and his career, they always disregard it. They're like, he got swept.
But that's also because
right. So that's why I say I think KD has to win something for his legacy, because he's already a winner, right? So I don't think it's enough for him to take somebody to a finals.
I'm speaking in terms of the New York perspective and being from New York. If he just gets us a taste,
I don't know, but I feel like New York has a rich culture in winning. I think for you to cement that in you got to win. You got to bring them home the chip because they're used to winning.
Nothing is going to be compared to winning. I'm just saying it. Even if he just brings the Knicks back into competitive fashion, that'll mean so much for the city of New York.
It'll mean a lot to the city of New York, but I don't know how much it does for his legacy.
It doesn't do much for his
legacy.
That's
what I'm saying. I don't think his legacy it does a lot for. It was like, oh, you fell short again. That's what I think it is for him. That's why whether he goes to Brooklyn, New York, or whoever, he has to bring a title to get his legacy back in the top 10, top 5 discussion.
And that's why I think it also depends. We were just talking about a second ago of maybe where Kyrie goes.
I think they have to move together.
They have to go wherever they go. They have to go together.
But I hate to go back to it, but if KD brings the Knicks a championship, is he in the top 3 discussion of all time?
I think
he has to be in the discussion at least, at minimum.
Yeah.
As much as I hate the guy, if he brings the Knicks a championship, you're talking top 3 now.
Yeah, you're giving him
you're talking
3
about
rings.
You're talking about Magic, LeBron, MJ, KD. Like he's in that discussion right there.
Yeah, for sure, of course.
Yeah,
and he goes down as one of the biggest New York sports legends, and that's a rich history there.
Yeah,
he goes.
So even if you put let's say he goes his first year, wins the championship, and he bounces. Is he the greatest thing of all time? Because Kawhi just did that, and I don't think he's. I think.
No,
he's up there.
You're right. He doesn't.
He's
not.
So what I would say is he might be the best player the Knicks ever had, but he's not the best Knick ever.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And that's what I think it is for Kawhi right now.
Because right now it's Patrick Ewing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It would automatically cement him as the second best.
It's Ewing and then who? Correct. Like Stark, right?
It's
John Stark.
Yeah, that's part of the same era of basketball.
Yeah, him and
Stephon Marbury.
Get out of here with that.
He was fun, but
speaking of, quick side note, and I know we didn't really plan on talking this. Stephon Marbury is now a head coach in China as of this past week. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Dude, the guy's a legend in China.
Oh, he is the biggest thing since sliced bread over there.
Yeah.
Did anybody have his shoes?
The Starberries, bro? I used to rock
the
those.
$20 ones?
What do you mean? He's wearing them right now.
I wish I had some Starberries. They're fire.
Is there any other free agents that we're missing? NBA free agents?
Masai Ujiri. He was a free agent.
I was going to mention Toby.
And Clay.
Toby Harris. Well, Clay reports say...
Call him Tobias Harris because I really didn't even know what you were talking about.
I said Toby.
Well, Clay...
He's going
reports are out. No, reports are out. Like he's a done deal with the Warriors. Yeah. They just need to offer him the max, which they will. So that's done.
It sucks.
Tobias,
that's the worst thing he could have done.
Yeah, Tobias is the only other.
No, Clay needs to go somewhere else.
No, bro,
he's being overshadowed by Steph.
No, he's not.
Yes,
I'm telling you. I wasn't high on Clay, but I'm high on him now. I want to see Clay play somewhere else.
Steph is holding him back.
All right, go ahead and believe that.
Steph is holding him back.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. Yes,
I don't know about holding him back, but I would like to see
in terms of his image, and if Clay went somewhere else and also proved that he can play to the same degree elsewhere, it now cements Clay as okay. He's not just a guy that's benefiting off of the success of Steph.
No, but Clay doesn't care about that type of stuff.
It doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't give a damn what Clay cares about. But for his,
I mean, it's his free agency, his life. I think.
But I'm saying
he has a lot to say about that.
He doesn't give a fuck, bro.
I don't care what Clay wants or anything like that. It's if I'm looking at as a PR perspective or as a marketing perspective, if I'm Clay, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna go play somewhere else.
Yeah, but
I'm
that's
gonna
not Clay. Clay doesn't care about that.
But
he's successful in Golden State.
But he can be more successful elsewhere.
Look, Doug, I don't care what you want. I'm gonna tell you what you need.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, you brought up Eli. You brought up Masai.
Yeah, let's end NBA on Masai. He was supposedly offered a big contract with the Wizards. You were saying, Doug?
So apparently, Woj reported that the Wizards are going to offer him like a $10 million contract to come. The Wizards later came out and said, "We never were going to do that." So Masai was like, "I'm staying," which is weird by the Wizards because they still don't have an official GM. So I don't know what the hell they're doing.
Nobody knows what the hell the Wizards are doing.
So if you're you, Jerry, did you make the right decision? Do you pass up the money or do you stay where you're at and continue to
stay where you're at in Toronto?
Yeah, I agree.
For the same reason
I agree.
that we brought up the same scenario with KD if he wins one and he leaves. Same thing with Masai. If you can create a winning culture and set the franchise up for success in the future, that then cements you as a very, very dear person to the Toronto faithful. If you win one and leave, yes, that's cool that you brought a championship to Toronto, but that is less impactful.
No, and I agree. And especially if he goes to the Wizards and he's not successful, you almost kind of forget about what he did in Toronto because now you start to remember the bad. And as people, we tend to remember the worst more than the good.
Yeah, and I think to kind of go off Danny's point, as a GM, you kind of have to instill more. Like he used the right word, the culture there. So it's really difficult to do that just being a kind of a one and done type of year. So I think you have to continuously build that kind of franchise to your kind of taste. And if you can prove that in multiple years, then that solidifies you as like, wow, you made a huge impact on this team.
That's a great point.
Great point.
And I'm only saying great point because he told me I was right.
Well, to go back to my point, just to cross-reference this, I just thought about this, guys. I think it's genius. It's a soccer reference. Jose Mourinho. Guy's a phenomenal coach, one of the best coaches ever, and he did so great at the beginning of his career with Inter Milan, bringing them a Champions League title, and a couple other squads. But now, when you think of Jose Mourinho, you think of the shit job that he's done with Manchester United, and Chelsea. And,
that's all that he's associated with.
Exactly, and that's all he's associated with. But the guy is phenomenal what he's done in the past.
He's a legend as a coach.
He's a legend.
The thing is, as a casual soccer fan, like
you only remember him at Man United and Chelsea because he stunk the bed.
Yeah.
No, but I know his past, but I still only think of that
because it's overshadowed.
Yes,
and
exactly.
that's the risk Masai Ujiri runs into if you go to a really bad Wizards team.
I think a great recent example of this is Mitch Kupchak in the Lakers, where he made that huge trade to get Paul Gasol in there and win those championships. But then you remember, like, his just
Dwight Howard
signing Mozgov.
Look at Phil Jackson.
Yeah,
Phil Jackson went to the New York and destroyed the franchise.
And now when we think of Phil, like, he's a bum. Like, he's old. He's washed up.
To be fair, though, I knew when they signed him to do that, like, Phil's been retired. Like, what the hell you expect Phil to do?
Phil's the greatest coach of all time.
Couldn't run a front office to save his life.
Yeah.
The dude's like 80 years old. He doesn't want to do the work.
He was very old, and to be honest, he was running the front office at LA when he was there, too.
Yeah.
But the guy's great, but we do remember his last job. You're as good as what you did last, you know?
Yeah, and especially with the way that went down with Melo and all that, it just looked bad. Yeah. It looked real bad. No, I think if I'm Masai, it's a good move to stay.
I agree, guys.
All right, enough of basketball, because I think we've been talking about basketball for like 30 minutes now.
I know you paused because you're like, fuck, we miss Iggy.
Because I really want to talk about Iggy.
Iggy kind of ties into our next topic.
Okay, we can talk about Iggy. We'll talk about it because we can't come back to this next week or anything. So Iggy, we mentioned it before. He has his book coming out. He's on his book tour. He was on the Breakfast Club. Shout out Breakfast Club. Love that show. Yeah, great stuff.
Shout out Charlamagne.
And he went out. Yeah, shout out Charlamagne.
Donkey today. Doug Diaz.
So it's not Charlamagne.
Envy.
No. Iggy went on the show.
Yo,
My bad. Iggy went on the show and he was spilling the tea.
Yeah, he was talking about Mark Jackson.
Yes.
He was talking
about how Mark Jackson was blackballed from the NBA. Mm-hmm. Big thing that I want to talk about that kind of ties into this last playoffs. Iggy was saying during last year's playoffs, the 2018 playoffs, that he actually had a fractured leg. But the Warriors kept claiming to everyone that it was a bone bruise.
Yeah.
One of two things happened. Either they misdiagnosed him, or they were just flat out BSing everyone and
either way they look horrible.
Him play.
Exactly.
Either way they're horrible.
I think
because if you're misdiagnosing,
I think it's more of they knew what it was.
And they absolutely.
Were trying to
and they were trying to
it's hard to misdiagnose a fractured leg.
Come on,
like, if you ever see X-rays, you could see the legit fracture.
Real, these are world class. Medical professionals.
Exactly. So the problem is, they have, they have to do what's best for the player, but as much as they're loyal to the player, they're as loyal to their paycheck. Who's getting
that's number one to them?
Yeah, who's signing that by the GM and who's telling them what to say and do.
But that's why Iggy did the right thing, where he had outside doctors look into his injury, and then that's how he knew it was a fractured leg.
If you're paying me as much as that, I'll say whatever you want me to say. I don't give a damn.
You throwing a 15 mil bonus?
Yeah, I'll be saying all the reckless stuff that you want me to say.
Bro,
facts.
It's a sprained thumb. Get your ass out there.
So let me ask you this: what do you think this means for Iggy? Like, are there any repercussions, or do you think this puts him in a tough
so.
position?
When he goes back to the Bay, they're gonna have to talk to him.
Yeah. I think the Warriors.
I think it's more telling for the Warriors, though. Do you think? Something has to be done. If this ends up being a true story, now you have back-to-back years where the Warriors didn't handle injuries.
To me, there's no reason why Iggy would lie.
Yeah, right. He hasn't come off as that guy. He hasn't been so outspoken. There's no
But at the same time, I want to give the Warriors the benefit of the doubt.
I don't, because he's accumulated a lot of money. There's no reason for him to like just be saying this just to say this for some money for his book.
So at what point does the NBA say, "Hey, we need to start looking
And
into
investigating
how you guys are going about your
I'll
medical
tell you this,
practice"?
if they don't, I know TMZ will.
No,
TMZ is
but
ruthless.
there's other cases, like for example, the Isaiah Thomas injury for the Celtics that was also came out later. That
So
was
maybe the
misdiagnosed.
NBA needs to just look into how
the Kawhi
all
Leonard
teams?
thing. People gave him a lot of flack.
With San
and
Antonio?
So that just proves right there.
Maybe the NBA just needs to look at their entire injury protocol and evaluate how they go about doing that. And I've mentioned that before. They need to be more like the NFL, especially when gambling, especially with basketball. Gambling and basketball is becoming bigger and bigger, and it's going to be huge. So they're going to need to make sure all the correct information is out there at all times, unlike what we've seen in the last 3 to 4 years with all those issues that you just mentioned.
But I think this is more of a sports issue because this is actually going to transition us to our next topic. So recently, the NCAA sent out surveys to athletic trainers for different colleges. And from the reports they came back, 19% of the trainers reported that they played players who are technically medically out to participate, but they were pushed by either the team or the head coach to play those players regardless.
That's even worse than what the Warriors did.
That's bad because now you're affecting a guy's whole career.
A kid.
potentially.
And this is NCAA.
And
players who are not even paid.
Correct.
Kids who are not even paid. First of all, they're kids. Right? They're generating all this money for you. You're not paying them. And you're going to risk their whole career, their lives, their futures for what? A bowl game?
I would love to know what percentage of that 19% were from concussions.
They didn't go into specifics on what the health
I'm
were,
sure
but they
a
were
large majority had to be concussed.
That needs to be
I
looked
would
into
assume.
because that honestly gets me upset. I can only imagine, being a college kid looking towards a future in the NFL, MLB, whatever it might be.
And the crazy thing is, with the survey, they also had 58% said that the actual head coach of the team, of those 19%, 58%
Knew about
the
it.
head coach of the team knew about it
course.
and still pushed the players out
That's
there.
horrible, man.
So what do you think the
And-
NCAA does about this?
I think the
That's
best way to
totally-
do it is to have not team doctors, but
Have just organization doctors?
like neutral party
Independent
doctors.
or independent.
Yeah, somebody
people?
who
Yeah.
doesn't have a stake in it,
Yeah.
And the biggest thing too in the NCAA, like the head coach has so much power they could dictate like what medical staff
The
they
NCAA
carry.
is one of the most corrupt organizations there is in
So
sports.
maybe the NCAA implements a team of medical professionals that work for the NCAA and not for
Exactly.
the organizations.
I think like for the colleges.
third party.
But the,
Not
but
even
the
third
problem
party, they
is
just have
that
to work for the
the NCAA, they themselves are not going to want to institute something, so there might have to be like a separate governing body that makes sure that they kind
Some
of
type of
abide by certain
contracted work.
policies.
But regardless, to speak on the issue
If
itself,
you think about it, that's 1/5 of the medical staffs of all these colleges.
that's awful, man. To think
that means one of the teams that you root for,
Yeah.
everyone that's listening, one of the teams, somebody out there, your team is out there forcing players to play. So
That
think
aren't
about that
getting
next time
paid.
you root for
Yeah.
Louisville. and-
Or if you think that players shouldn't be paid. This is a prime example. They're literally putting their whole life at risk, like their whole future career, and they're not even getting financial rewards for it.
And this goes back to you're starting to see more guys that are prepping for the NFL draft are not participating in bowl games
Yeah.
anymore.
I'm all for it.
I'm all for
Yeah.
it as well
Mm-hmm.
because you need to protect your bag.
That could be
Absolutely.
the difference between making $3 million a year to $500,000 a year.
And not just that,
Or not even being in the league at
getting
all.
your family the opportunity while you work so hard.
That affects draft stock. That affects signing bonuses. All of that, man.
Yeah,
That's disgusting.
I agree.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate. And to kind of hit on, I think we hit on it last week. You see, LaMelo Ball playing in overseas. So maybe, who knows? Maybe some of the athletes that are now going and finding other avenues maybe think about these things and they're like, "Yo, maybe I can get paid to play somewhere else,
There's
and I don't
just
have to
certain sports
deal
you
with
can't
this
do
kind
that.
of power struggle.
You can't really do that for football.
Yeah, football. It's
Yeah.
too hard to do that.
And I'm sure the majority of those players that are injured that are being forced to play are from football. They have to be.
Yeah.
Playing Mike Vick's flag football league.
On another note, I want to talk about another issue in sports that I don't like, where this is the game is going because of this. Baseball and home runs. Okay? And maybe
Chicks dig the long ball.
chicks dig a lot of long things.
Oh my gosh.
Hit the bra.
No, and maybe it's because I guess I'm more on the traditional side of baseball, but I want to see more strategy. I want to see more gameplay. I want to see someone outthink someone in the terms of the game. I don't want to see a whole bunch of home runs where all guys doing at the plate is trying to swing for the long ball or strike out.
So, with you, I agree because I've always said I like baseball because of the chess match.
Yes.
I'm all for the chess match. That's what I like baseball.
I like the small game. I know if I'm a batter, I got 2 strikes on me. I can't strike out here. You know what? I'm not going to swing all full-heartedly. I'm going to try to tap it the other way and advance the runner.
And I see that being so amazing and watching that happen and come to, fruition. But for them, if you look at it on the other side, for the MLB, that helps markets the game, the long ball.
Yeah, because people like watching.
People
that.
like seeing home runs. You go to a baseball game. What do you want to see? You want to see a home run, right? That's why
I want to see a well played game.
Me and you, absolutely, as baseball fans,
If you're at the game, you want to catch.
But if you take your kid to the game, the kid wants to see a home run.
But you do realize that this isn't like the players are getting better or the players are altering their swings to hit more home runs, which they kind of are to a degree. But the baseballs are actually juiced now.
Are they really?
Yes. The way the baseballs are being manufactured now is completely different than the way they were being manufactured before. They have more bounce, and you can see it. For anybody that watches baseball, you can see it when a batter hits a ball into the outfield. Just by the way the outfielders read the ball, sometimes they'll feel like, you ever see those guys that they'll run back and they look like they're about to make a play on the ball, and then the ball goes into the stands? It's because they're reading the ball and they're saying, okay, this ball is usually right here. I played baseball enough to know this ball is going to land right here, and that ball carries into the stands. The ball is juiced 100%.
I think that that's I didn't know that at all. That's crazy. That's pretty interesting. But I think that, as somebody who doesn't follow baseball to the extent that you guys do, I see it kind of like that. Baseball is more marketable when there's home runs being.
I agree.
Maybe if it's happening organically, but it's being self-engineered now. They're lowering the seams on the ball. They're making the covers a little bit more resilient so that they bounce better. They're being wound tighter.
So knowing this information, Danny, because this is news to me, you're saying the MLB looks a little bit desperate now.
Well, I think the MLB for the last 10 years has always been desperate because they know they have to do something to, instead of maybe juicing the balls, maybe you prod your star players to have more personality. Instead of finding the Bryce Harpers and the Adrian Beltres of the world and suspending them and doing that, maybe encourage them to be a little bit more out there. And I think they've gotten better than that, better at that in the past couple years. But I think they, instead of focusing on stuff like the baseballs, you need to do something else. And maybe in the way you market the game or the market,
they have to find something.
Market your best players.
I remember as a kid, I used to look forward to the home run derby. Now, I don't even know who's in. Yeah, I don't even know who's in the home run derbies.
But, the biggest example of this is look at Mike Trout. He's the best player in baseball by far, to the point where even the baseball players, if you watch interviews, they're like, "Yeah, Trout's the best in the game."
Yeah, I agree.
But you never hear from him. You never hear about him. Nothing. One, it's because he plays for L.A. Well, he plays for the Angels, who are never competitive. But also because he doesn't say anything. He has no personality. That's bad for baseball.
I've never seen an interview of him.
He does interviews, but the interviews are boring and bland.
That's the thing. How many NBA interviews?
He's a boring guy. And he said he's okay with being boring. But at what point, if you're the MLB, do you start kind of not forcing him, but you start putting him in positions to show a little bit more personality? You know what I mean? Maybe have him. They mic up guys all the time. Maybe mic him up a little bit more. Right? Get him to come out of his shell a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you look on YouTube right now, MLB has their own YouTube channel. If you go on YouTube, some of their most viewed videos are always their mic'd up stuff, and people love it. The one with Mookie Betts in spring training.
The Mookie Betts at spring training.
Exactly. A ball gets hit in the gap, and he's like, "Oh shoot, I got to get this one." And he's talking to the guys in the booth.
Yeah, he's talking to the guys. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Right? So, like, stuff like that, people love that, right?
I think Mookie might be the most marketable guy they have.
Or Alex Bregman. Bregman has his own YouTube channel that's doing phenomenal.
He is, but he's not as known as somebody like Mookie. Mookie's a little bit more in the eyes.
But Bregman's also a guy that he's bilingual, so he speaks Spanish now. So,
is he really?
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
That either.
Go look it up on YouTube. He speaks Spanish, it's not like perfect,
but it's well.
It's fluent enough to where they played a series in Mexico, and he was able to speak to the Spanish fans.
Oh, that's cool.
And he's able to communicate with his Spanish.
Baseball needs more characters. Like back in the day, bro, Pedro Martinez. Remember guys like Carlos Zambrano?
Yeah.
He wasn't the best pitcher, but man, I love to watch him pitch.
I wanted to watch Carlos Zambrano go back into the dugout after a poor outing and smash the Gatorade cooler.
You wanted that. Guys like Manny Ramirez. You love the antics.
The old White Sox manager,
Ozzie Guillen.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're missing the character.
That's what baseball needs. Not for you to juice the hell out of the
Joe
baseball.
Torre's like no matter who you like and who you didn't, there was characters and storylines you can follow. There's no storylines in baseball.
No.
So except for this year where you're about to see 50,000 home runs.
Yeah. Well, the crazy thing is to back up what Danny was saying, last year the New York Yankees beat the single season home runs for a team. And this year Minnesota Twins are on pace to break that
by a lot.
Yeah.
Well, and the Yankees just broke another record. They had 28 straight games with a home run.
Yeah.
So, but at what point do people start saying like, all right, it's another home run record? Like, okay, whatever.
So is it where now the home run doesn't mean as much now? Where it's like, oh, it's just another home run.
And unfortunately that devalues other things. So guys that steal a lot of bases. You don't see a lot of those stolen bases anymore.
I used to love seeing a stolen base, man. Like that was awesome. Seeing the guy sliding.
That's a big part of the game.
Seeing the tag.
Ricky Henderson and his stolen base record will never be touched again because nobody's worrying about playing small ball anymore. They're worried about hitting the ball out of the park. And that's a shame.
No, I agree.
You don't get guys that steal 70, 80 bags anymore. Right? The chess game
that was more on like 40, 50.
Yeah, you get 40, 50. But you don't get those guys that as soon as they get on base, they're playing the chess game with the pitcher and trying to get in his head and take second. In baseball, unfortunately, if they continue to go on the path that they're going, they're going to gain new fans by only getting the home run ball, but they're going to be easily bored by that.
Those aren't real fans. You're getting fake fans.
Exactly, and then you're going to alienate your real fan.
Facts.
No,
All right, I'll get off my soapbox now.
That's true. No, that's a good point.
I don't normally agree with you when it comes to MLB, but that was facts only. Last thing before we leave MLB, guys. How about Manny Machado? He must have been listening to our podcast because he is on a tear and he's the hottest player in baseball right now.
He's on my fantasy league.
He's still a bum. And Mando, you're still a bum because you're beating me right now on fantasy.
Dude, Manny Machado is the hottest batter. And he plays great defense. He's always had the glove, right?
Joe, he has an arm.
He has the arm.
Yelich is still the hottest batter.
Oh, yeah. You could say that.
But who has a better arm now? Machado or his teammate Fernando Tatis Jr.?
Tatis has a rocket.
I don't know if I brought this stat up last podcast, but maybe a week or two ago, he fired a ball across the infield at 97 miles an hour.
You said it. Yeah, you said it. I remember.
Yeah.
I mean, Machado has more highlights with his arm.
Well, you don't want to hit that ball on the left side of the infield.
Yeah,
the defense is impeccable.
You're just going to get thrown at first.
I mean, the defense all around that infield, because they have Ian Kinsler at second and they have Eric Hosmer at first.
I can never forget Manny Machado pretty much he's in foul territory, almost by the crowd.
And just slinging one?
Slinging it. I think throwing out Albert Pujols or something. But, dude, that was an amazing play. But shout out to Manny Machado. I'm convinced that he more consistently. I'm convinced he listens to the podcast now.
I hope he does.
Yo, if you do, shout us out.
If you do, you're a bum. You need to be more consistent. You don't earn your money.
That was one view of us. That doesn't reflect all of our views.
My boy Machado.
We talked about paying college athletes, but something that we talked about kind of a little bit off air is, athletes are probably that profession. You make so much money. You have the potential to make millions and millions and millions of dollars, right?
Yeah.
But I want to see where you guys take on this. Do you think athletes should be getting paid that much, or do you think that's something maybe they should be getting paid more like other professions, like, doctors and lawyers and stuff like that?
I think they should. There's only, if you think about, let's say, for example, the NBA, there's like at most 300 players. That's 300 people in the world that could do what they do at that level.
Well, for me, I agree with you because I think it all comes down not to how many people can do your job. I think it comes down to how much money you're bringing in.
That's also true.
If you're bringing in that much money, and we talked about this a couple of weeks ago when we talked about the women's sports. If you're bringing in that much money, then yes, you deserve to get paid that much.
That's the point I can agree with.
Yeah, if you're not making that, if you're not bringing in that kind of money, then no, of course not. You shouldn't be paying that.
It's basic supply and demand.
Yeah,
you got a huge supply of a bunch of fans, or the demand of a bunch of fans, and then you only got a limited supply of elite players.
It's 10th grade economics.
Yeah.
Honestly, this was probably the easiest topic we've had all night.
Nando, do you agree?
I agree with the fact that because they're bringing in the most money, that they should be getting paid reflectively. But I think it's a little difficult to you don't have like a select pool of doctors who are the most elite doctors that bring in the most money for like their.
You kind of have that with surgeons though, but they also get paid millions. So
but not even close to.
Not like 50.
But we all agree. Nobody wants to hear us agree. We're boring when we agree.
Yeah.
But
what's next? What we
good
got?
Point. Good point.
What else do we have to talk about?
It's a little bit of a fun topic here.
It is.
Ooh, let's get it, boys.
Well, what you got for me?
So, just thinking about how many sports couples there are.
Oh, God.
What are the top sports couples out right now?
Out right now or just ever?
I mean, ever. If you want to take it that far, we'll go ever.
Now, Grant, are we talking about both? Like parties or sports are involved in sports or like
at least one.
At least one. Like if you have one that there's both, then that's fine.
At least one, but the other one has to be a power couple. So it can't be like Mike Trout and his girlfriend because nobody knows his girlfriend.
No, the other person has to be like a celebrity.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like just sports, both of them.
No.
It could be.
I think a big one that's in my opinion it ruined this guy's career. Matt Kemp and Rihanna. Matt Kemp won an MVP for the Los Angeles Dodgers, started dating Rihanna, and he's never been the same since. Yeah. He's kind of...
Where is he right now? Is he in
Last time I checked, he got traded to Cincinnati. And then I think he might have signed with the Mets.
That fits.
Hold on. Let me find out real quick.
So we all know
kind of like what happened.
He's in the Mets organization right now.
Kim K has dated a numerous amount of athletes.
Reggie Bush.
But Reggie and Kim K was pretty I think iconic.
That's one of the first.
Yeah.
Well, at least in my generation, one of the first huge couples.
Kim K and Reggie. Like, how could you forget that? Right now, we have A-Rod and J-Lo. How do you guys feel about that? That's a power couple.
You know what's crazy?
I think, though, I think we're overlooking, like, one of the elite power couples who's been Tom Brady and Gisele Bündchen.
Yes.
Oh, that's a great example.
Yeah, that is a great example.
That's number one.
So, what was the one that you just said before the...
J-Lo and
A-Rod.
So what's crazy about that is that, like, when they officially started dating, and I think A-Rod, like, proposed, I think, recently, or something like that, there was, like, a meme that went across the internet, and it was a picture of Mark Anthony, A-Rod, and J-Lo. When Mark Anthony was dating J-Lo, and they went to a Yankees and Mets game because Mark Anthony's a Mets fan. Like Mark Anthony's sitting there, and the caption was saying something like when you tell him not to worry about the other dude, that he's just a friend.
Oh no!
And then she ends up years later.
No. That's why you gotta watch your back, fellas. Don't trust nobody.
Dating A-Rod now, it's just like a bad look. That picture just did not age well whatsoever.
So we've talked about this guy a lot on the podcast. How about Mello and Lala?
That's a weird one to me.
Mello and Lala.
Oh,
Carmelo.
Yeah, Carmelo.
Carmelo and Honey Nut Cheerios.
What?
Come on, bro. Don't get
what? You don't remember that, bro?
Don't get disrespectful on the podcast.
Cheerios?
KG in the middle of the game said
I do remember that.
Mello that his wife tastes like Honey Nut Cheerios.
I do remember that. Right. That's the most disrespectful shit ever, and I can't believe you just brought that up.
KG's the GOAT for that.
No, that's
just for that. He's the GOAT,
bro. I'm throwing hands if somebody says that about my girl.
They almost threw hands after the game.
He should have thrown hands with him. I think Melo still loses that, but hey, at least respect her honor.
You know who's somebody who's had, I think, the best roster when it comes to dating?
Ooh, let me hear it.
Derek Jeter.
Yeah, I was about to mention Jeter, bro.
Derek Jeter has dated
anybody relevant.
Anybody who's anybody.
So I want to know. So you know how there's a big story that went on for a long time that when Derek Jeter would hook up a girl, he would have Derek Jeter like gift baskets for them. and
What?
give them.
I
You
didn't
never
hear
heard about
this.
that?
No.
So that was rumored for a long time. I want to know if that was true. Like, you know how much of a G move that is, just to be like, like you can go home, like you can sleep over, but you got to go in the morning and
some soap.
I got your basket there.
So I just want to point this out
in there for you.
You got the plan B on the side.
Oh my god!
ESPN maybe about 8 years ago made a baseball diamond with the positions, and they filled them in with girls that Derek Jeter has dated.
Oh no!
So I'm gonna just tell you how stud.
Who's my Who's my shortstop?
I'm gonna leave that one for last.
Oh, okay. So that's
got a star player.
We're gonna
in
start
there.
at right field because your right fielder is typically your worst player. But for Derek Jeter, his right fielder is Jessica Biel.
That's solid.
That's a good one to have on the roster.
At left field,
Are you kidding me? She's gorgeous.
he dated Mariah Carey.
Wait, when did that happen?
I don't know, but it happened.
Is it post or pre Nick Cannon?
It must have been pre.
Must have been pre.
Because Nick Cannon might have been like 14 years old when that happened.
Probably. Center field, Jessica Alba.
Ooh. To me, that's more of a right fielder.
No, that's a definite center fielder.
I don't know. Maybe I'm not just a big Alba fan, but
Have you not seen Fantastic Four?
I have.
Go back and see Fantastic Four and
I
tell
don't
me
know.
that she's not a center fielder.
Okay, so let's go. His DH.
Yo,
He's a DH because his list is so long, but it's Tyra Banks when she was in the prime of her modeling career.
I don't remember that happening at all.
Yeah, man.
I don't remember any of these.
That's a good power hitter.
Look, if you guys are like fact checking me, ESPN is the source. Okay, so behind the plate, Minka Kelly.
Yo, Minka Kelly's a baddie, bro.
That's the catcher?
That's the catcher.
So
That's a catch.
So she was the receiver.
Oh no. Oh no.
So the starting pitcher was Hannah Davis.
Who?
Hannah Davis.
Is she a model?
Who knows?
I don't know who that is.
But if
She
you're the
sounds
starting
bad.
pitcher on,
He
in
said
this lineup,
she sounds
That's
bad.
the ace?
that was the ace.
It's a weak ace.
At first base was Jordana Brewster.
Ooh, the girl from Fast and Furious.
Jeez, this guy has a list.
Dear God. Derek Jeter's my hero.
For real.
All right, who we got at second base?
Well, I'm gonna go with third base.
Okay.
Third base was Vanessa Manillo.
Milano?
That's that.
No, Manillo.
No, Manello.
Who the hell's that?
That's a hot corner. That's all I know. That's all I know.
The hot lineup.
I'm done with you. I'm done with you.
And in the middle infield,
Who we got?
at second base, we have Adriana Lima.
Ooh, do you think you got
Oh
the second
my
base with her?
I think he hit a
I
home
think
run. He might
all the
hit
way
a grand
home.
slam with that one.
When an infield home
Cheers
run.
the GOAT.
And at shortstop, Scarlett Johansson.
No.
Stop.
Stop.
Derek Jeter is the GOAT.
That's a shorty.
I'm logging off the podcast.
Wait, what?
Scarjo.
Derek Jeter is the GOAT.
Tell me him and Black Widow? Jeez.
Holy crap.
Bro,
Yo.
I have so much more respect for this man.
I've
hate
been the biggest
Derek
Jeter critic.
as a player,
Me
but
too.
I gotta shake his hand after
I've been the biggest Jeter critic, but after seeing this list,
So
He's
back
a
to my
goat.
original question. Do you think all of those women have gift baskets at one point from
Oh, hands down.
from Derek Jeter? Do you think they have signed balls and not his balls, just like baseballs?
they have something signed.
Wow, that's crazy.
Who's the pinch runner? They got a pinch runner?
It was your mom.
Oh, no, that's too... Oh, we're about to throw hands right now. That's too disrespectful.
Remember when you walked into her room when you saw the little basket there on her bed?
I'm done.
Oh,
All right.
my.
Yo,
Yeah, don't you have a Derek Jeter signed ball? That's where that came from.
I'm about to throw hands at all you right now.
Oh my god, that was disrespectful. I'm sorry, Doug.
I apologize.
Yeah,
I went too far.
Your mom's a wonderful lady.
His wife is really pretty too.
No, honestly, like I love his mom. To be honest,
Yeah,
All right.
So I thought.
Hope she doesn't listen to this.
it's not because of you, Doug. Like I actually like your mom. I like your mom so much better
Yo,
than you.
Stop. You're going down a territory where you might end up where you were 2 minutes ago. The last topic we got to talk about, and then we'll get out of here.
It's another fun topic.
Another fun topic. If you guys can only live with one sports movie, only be able to watch that one sports movie for the rest of your life, what's that sports movie?
Wow, that's a tough.
I thought long and hard about this, and it came down to two.
What's that?
So this was like a guilty pleasure. But a Will Ferrell movie, Blades of Glory.
Oh my god, that's
Dude,
a terrible choice.
I thought he was gonna say kicking and screaming.
That would have been a better choice.
That's my runner-up. I don't know. I just love that movie. It just makes me laugh all the time.
That's
movie.
better
The
than
ping pong
saying
movie?
dodgeball.
No. That's the one.
Ice skating movie.
Ice skating.
Oh yes. I'm sorry.
It's just like it just gets me every time. But the number one movie, sports movie in my book, is Remember the Titans.
Ooh,
that
that's
was
a good
mine.
pick.
You got Denzel Washington, just like the GOAT. That's all.
That was
That's all
a
you
good
need.
movie.
Yeah,
that
that's
was
a
in
great
my
choice.
that was in my top 2.
I think that's 2 for me.
Nando, what you got?
I was going back and forth between Remember the Titans and I don't know, believe it or not, but when I was growing up, I actually liked the movie Like Mike.
Like
Oh my God.
I could watch Like Mike all the time.
Yeah.
So
bro.
I actually rewatched that maybe like a
Like
month ago, but I couldn't.
Like Mike was a movie, bro.
I
I
couldn't watch
related
that
to it
over and
a lot.
over.
Wow.
My boy Bow.
But no, I think it's Remember the Titans. I think it's just so iconic and
So-
it had a good message.
I was thinking about Remember the Titans, The Sandlot,
Sandlot. That's a good one.
and I don't know if a lot of people I feel like probably may have not seen this, but Miracle. You seen
Oh,
that?
the hockey movie,
the hockey
right?
movie about the United States winning
Against
Beating
Russia.
Russia.
beating Russia in the Olympics. I love that movie. I think it's great. Like they got like real hockey players for it. Like it was very well shot. It's based on a true story. It's a great movie. But-
You know, what was another one for me. Sorry, not to cut you off, Danny. I actually like
I'll just sit over here in the corner and
You like that movie, Nando?
What movie?
What?
Isn't that's the one with Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Vince Papalio movie.
yeah, that
Oh
one.
no!
What?
Yeah,
You
actually,
interrupted me
I
for
mean,
that?
I wouldn't say it's my top one, but I
But
actually like
first
it.
of all,
How
me
dare
and
you
Nando
interrupt
are
me
like
to say
movie
Invincible?
Like we're pretty much movie critics.
Yeah.
But Nando, your credibility just got hit with that
Nah,
one.
bro, I like movies that are like true, like based on true stories.
Yes.
So I don't know. I
At least like
okay.
My Guilty Pleasure is
So-
funny, but yours is like
So before he decided to interrupt me with that absolute like basura, I was gonna say The Sandlot's my movie. It's a classic. It's probably one of
That's
the
a
few
good one,
sports
yeah.
movies that even till this day people quote on a regular basis, even if you haven't seen the movie. I've talked
Yeah.
to people that have quoted The Sandlot and not even realize that they're quoting The Sandlot.
No, The Sandlot's a classic.
And plus, it brings you back to like when you were a kid. Like I mean, Eli, you and I grew up playing baseball. Like
Yeah.
growing up playing baseball during the summer with your friends, playing sports and stuff like that. That brings me back to that. So I think that's an
absolutely.
instant classic.
Yeah,
I
that's a
think you
good
guys
one.
all named classics except for that shit Nando just named.
Yeah.
I don't think Blades of Glory is a classic, but
Yeah, that's not a
No,
classic either.
definitely not.
So honestly, if I can watch one sports movie on repeat for the rest of my life, I love this movie. And
Cool Runnings.
Cool Runnings is kind of funny, but
I feel like that's what Eli's gonna say.
no, but nice try. No, the movie is actually Coach Carter.
Oh, that's a good one.
I had a feeling you were gonna say
Oh,
that.
that's
Love
such
that
a
movie.
great one. I can't believe I forgot.
Samuel
about that.
Jackson, another
Yeah.
pretty
love
big star.
that movie.
Yeah.
I can watch it over and over and over again.
That's
Great
a-
message.
based
great
on a true story.
Based on a true story.
Great basketball scenes.
Great
in that.
basketball scenes. It was phenomenal. I loved it.
That's a
That had
really great movie.
Cuba Gooding Jr. back in the day, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, no, that didn't have Cuba Gooding Jr.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think it did.
He was
yeah.
on the team.
No. You're thinking about, is that Radio? With
No.
Cuba
I'm telling
Jr.?
you, bro. I'm pretty sure. I think he was a point guard, if I'm not
No,
mistaken.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
He was the son.
not
He
in
was
that
Coach
movie.
Carter's son,
No,
right?
No,
I'm gonna look
it
it up
definitely
right now.
wasn't his son.
It's a kid that looks like him. That's not.
No.
It was his stunt
Cuba
double.
Gooding wasn't in there.
He was too old to play, be a high school player.
You're
At
thinking about Robert Richard.
Is that who it was?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
his son.
Robert Richard.
yeah, that's
But he
not-
looks a lot like him.
Yeah, he
Yo,
kinda-
Channing Tatum's in that
Oh,
movie?
yeah.
Yeah,
you're right,
Channing
yeah.
Tatum
Bro,
was
it's a
in that.
phenomenal movie, bro. Like I can
It
watch that.
Ashanti was in that movie. Ashanti was a baddie.
She
in that
was.
movie.
Ashanti,
She was, yeah.
hold on, is a baddie.
The facts.
People are Instagram.
Yeah, facts. No, that's a good one. I think with that said, though, that wraps everything up, right? Anybody got anything to say?
Yeah, I got a couple of little side notes right here.
What's up? Hit me.
Tomorrow, Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, France, U.S. Women's World Cup.
That's gonna be a
Both,
good game.
yeah, both teams are 5-0 in the last 5 games, 2-2-1 while playing each other. Also, Nando, Brazil beat Peru's ass 5-0.
Allez les bleus.
I just want to say
go, France.
Saturday, 3 o'clock Eastern Time, Peru about to beat Uruguay. Just throwing it out there.
All right.
I don't know about all that.
That's worse than the movie that you just named.
Yeah, you ended the podcast poorly. Check out the Instagram. Peep the Instagram. Prospect Talk _. Same thing on Twitter.
Yeah, guys, we got a lot of exciting stuff coming up soon. So just keep on following our social medias. Website's almost here. We got some new merchandise in that that's not available yet to anybody, but
we'll be showing that off.
But we'll be showing that off.
Let us know what you guys think.
Please give us.
It's nice,
feedback.
but you guys can't have it. So
not yet. All right, peace, y'all.
Have a good one.
Later.
Remember the Titans. You like your bum.